Manipulators thrive on ignorance. Education is their greatest threat.
Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, believed that our subconscious mind is like a hidden treasure chest, full of valuable information and insights that can help us understand ourselves better and become more whole. He taught that our unconscious mind isn't just a place for our fears, but a vast and intelligent part of us that holds the keys to our potential. It communicates with us, not in plain language, but through symbols, feelings, and events. The problem is, in our busy world, many of us have forgotten how to listen. We dismiss these messages as noise or coincidence. But when we ignore these whispers for too long, the subconscious tries to get our attention more forcefully. These attempts to communicate can manifest as anxieties, repeating patterns, and roadblocks that make us feel stuck. In this video, we'll talk about how to listen to your subconscious mind to become whole, based on the philosophy of Carl Jung. We'll explore 5 of the most powerful signs that your subconscious is trying to get your attention. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward living a more authentic and conscious life. Number 1. Listen to your shadow. Carl Jung says, "Shadow work is the path of the heart warrior." The shadow is essentially the dark side of our personality that we keep hidden. This includes our repressed weaknesses, desires, and instincts, the things we might be ashamed of or uncomfortable with. The shadow forms as we grow up and learn which behaviors are acceptable and which are not. For example, imagine a child who gets scolded for being too confident. To gain approval, the child might suppress their assertiveness. This trait doesn't disappear. It just goes underground into the shadow. But our shadow doesn't stay quiet. One of the main ways it tries to communicate is through intense emotional reactions to other people. Have you ever met someone who, for no clear reason, just gets under your skin? You might find yourself ranting about their arrogance, their laziness, or their ignorance. Jung believed this is a process called projection. When we haven't owned our own capacity for a certain trait, we become hypersensitive to it in others. That person whose arrogance drives you crazy, according to Jung's theory, they might be mirroring a confidence that you were taught to suppress. That person whose perceived laziness fills you with anger, perhaps they are reflecting a part of you that is desperate for rest, a part you've labeled unproductive. Jung wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." To begin shadow work, the first step is to identify your shadow. Pay close attention to what annoys or irritates you in others. These reactions often point to parts of yourself that you haven't acknowledged. The next time you feel that intense, outsized emotional reaction, pause. Ask yourself, what is the specific quality in this person that is triggering me so much? Then, with honesty, ask, where does this exact quality exist in me, even in a small way? This isn't about condoning negative behavior. It's about using your reaction as a mirror to uncover hidden parts of yourself. By doing this, you can understand that your irritation is less about their behavior and more about an aspect of yourself that you haven't fully acknowledged. Through shadow work, you uncover and integrate these hidden parts and live a more whole and authentic life. Number 2, analyze your dreams. In the words of Jung, dreams are the facts from which we must proceed. Jung believed that dreams are not just random or absurd occurrences. Instead, They're meaningful messages from the subconscious. He didn't see dreams as trying to disguise their meaning. He believed they express something as clearly as they can, using the symbolic language the subconscious knows. When a dream repeats itself, it's a sign that the conscious mind isn't getting the message. The subconscious is turning up the volume, hoping this time you'll listen. These recurring dreams almost always point to an unresolved conflict or an unbalanced attitude in our waking life. Take the classic dream of being unprepared for an exam. Symbolically, an exam is a test of your worth. This dream often appears when you're facing a situation in your career or personal life where you feel judged or inadequate. The dream of being chased is also very common and often points directly to avoidance. The figure chasing you is frequently a representation of something you're running from: a difficult conversation, an uncomfortable emotion, or a part of your own shadow. To uncover the insight in your dreams, Jung recommended a process of careful documentation and interpretation. First, keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. The more detail you can capture, the better. Focus on symbols, emotions, or characters that stood out. Second, identify the core feeling of the dream. Did you feel fear, shame, or wonder? Now, ask yourself this powerful question: where else in my life right now do I feel this exact same way? Often, that question is the key that unlocks the message. By listening to your dreams, you are receiving personalized guidance on the unresolved issues that may be holding you back. Number 3, observe synchronicities. In our final quote from Jung for this video, he says, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see." Have you ever thought of an old friend for the first time in years, and moments later, your phone rings and it's them? Carl Jung called these moments synchronicity. He defined it as a meaningful coincidence, where events that are not causally linked are connected by their meaning. Jung proposed that these moments are evidence of a deeper order, a connection between the inner world of your mind and the outer world of events. When synchronicities appear, your subconscious may be signaling that you are becoming aligned with your true path. They often act as confirmation, telling you that you're on the right track or that you need to pay close attention. While this concept remains theoretical, it was central to Jung's work. According to Jung's account, one of his most famous examples of synchronicity occurred with a patient who was recounting a dream she'd had about being given a golden scarab beetle. As she was telling him the dream, Jung heard a tapping at the window, opened it, and caught a flying insect. It was a scarab-like beetle, the closest local equivalent to a golden scarab. For the patient, this improbable event was so meaningful that it broke through her rational defenses and helped her therapy progress. To better observe these synchronicities, start by staying present and being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. When one of these coincidences occurs, instead of immediately dismissing it, allow yourself to sit with the feeling of meaning. Keep a journal of these events. Record the outer event and your inner state, what you were thinking or feeling at that moment. Over time, you may begin to see patterns that offer guidance or confirmation for your life's journey. Number 4, get to know your archetypes. Jung once wrote, "Archetypes are images in the soul that represent the course of one's life." Archetypes, as defined by Carl Jung, are the universal symbols and themes that exist in what he called the collective unconscious. This is a part of the human mind that everyone shares, filled with symbols, common across cultures. Think of it like a giant library of human experiences that all people can access. Examples of archetypes include the hero, the mother, the wise old man, and the trickster. These are not just characters in myths, they are living psychic forces within each of us. If you feel trapped in a life pattern you can't escape, always the caregiver, the rebel, or the victim, this may be your subconscious screaming at you through an archetype. The problem arises when we over-identify with just one role. The psyche, in its drive for wholeness, will try to correct this imbalance. If you are stuck in the innocent archetype, always seeking safety, your subconscious may draw you into situations that force you to confront harsh realities and develop the strength of the hero. These recurring crises are not just bad luck. They can be seen as a curriculum designed by your soul to force you to grow. The person trapped in the victim archetype is being called to embrace their inner hero and take ownership of their story. To listen to this sign, look at the recurring patterns in your life as if you were analyzing a novel. Ask yourself, what is the primary role I seem to play? What archetype does this resemble? Then ask, what is the opposite of this archetype? Your work is to consciously invite the energy of that opposite archetype into your life. If you're the caregiver, schedule time for your own needs. If you're the intellectual sage, take a dance class. By consciously engaging with neglected archetypes, you become more balanced and whole. Number 5, practice active imagination. According to Jung, active imagination requires a state of reverie, halfway between sleep and waking. This is a technique Jung created to connect with your unconscious mind. It's not passive daydreaming. It begins when the unconscious presents you with a persistent inner image, figure, or fantasy that feels like it has a will of its own. When this happens, your subconscious is asking for a direct dialogue. Jung developed this method during a period of intense personal exploration, which he recorded in his famous Red Book, though it was not published until long after his death in 2009. The purpose of this practice is to build a conscious bridge to the autonomous parts of our psyche and ask them directly what they need from us. To practice active imagination, find a quiet space. Close your eyes, relax, and enter a meditative state. Start with a point of entry, like an image from a dream or a strong mood. Allow the image to move and act on its own. Then, consciously participate. Enter the scene and ask the figures that appear questions. Treat them as real. Afterwards, it is vital to give the experience concrete form by writing down the dialogue or painting the images you saw. A word of caution is necessary. Active imagination is a powerful technique. If you have a history of psychosis or severe mental instability, this practice should only be undertaken with the guidance of a trained professional. For everyone else, it is a transformative tool for dialoguing with the deepest parts of yourself. So there we have them. 5 powerful signs from your subconscious. The intense emotional projections of your shadow, the recurring messages in your dreams, the meaningful coincidences of synchronicity, the repeating life roles of archetypes, and the call to dialogue through active imagination. These signs are not symptoms that something is wrong. They are indications that a deeper, wiser part of you is actively trying to guide you toward what Jung called individuation. This is the journey of integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of ourselves to become the unique, whole individual we were always meant to be. Recognizing these signs is the first step. It's the moment you stop running from your own depth and start listening to the incredible wisdom held within. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to let us know in the comments which of these signs you've experienced the most in your own life. For more videos to help you find success and happiness using beautiful philosophical wisdom, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.